LeBron James, not like he was clowning around earlier in his career, but it's almost like he's reached a new level of seriousness. The way he answers questions afterwards, the technicality of it all. Do you think he's changed and for the better?
Well, I think there's a level of focus that every series takes. Every series is different. Every finals appearance is different. When you're in your first finals appearance, or when he was in Miami with Miami and lost in his first finals there, and then came back to win back-to-back championships. Each year, it's the same focus, but it's different. And so I think with this team, he's trying to bring a level of calm. You've heard him, and just in that interview, talking about we have great shooters. Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, KCP. Now, these guys that have struggled a little bit over the course of the postseason, but here he is, even in this moment after they played well, complimenting them, boosting them up, being that level of calm, not getting too high, not getting too low. I think that's where he is right now in his career.
The Lakers have height. They have talent. Those are two really good things to have if you want to win basketball games. And Miami found out about that in game one, right?
Yeah, they definitely found out about that. When you look at this height, there at one point in time, we saw a fast break with LeBron James throwing it to Dwight Howard then throwing it to Anthony Davis. That is a 6'9" to 6'11" to 7-foot fast break. I don't know if we've ever seen that before. And that was really the big key. Could Miami shoot the Los Angeles Lakers out of their size, forcing the Lakers to go small? And that's something that's going to be a very, very big issue, especially if Jimmy Butler is hobbled and Goran Dragic isn't able to continue.
A lot of height in the gym, as we used to say. All right, LeBron goes for 25 and near a triple-double, 1 assist away. AD went for 34, but that's 59. 59 doesn't win you an NBA game, at least in the year 2020. There's some other guys that chipped in as well tonight.
Yeah, no, a ton of guys. We got a lot of contributions the Lakers did from, all sorts of places that were, I don't want to say unexpected, but the way they shot the ball in the first half was just so impressive. They stepped up, they shot it with confidence. You look at Danny Green, Alex Caruso came off the bench, and really you look at that stretch, they got hit first. Miami came out, forced them to call the first timeout. It looked like this might be, something that was going to be a very intense game. But once that Laker defense got going, it started to fuel their offense. And it's a commonplace thing, but it's like you can't make that type of run unless one team goes cold and one team goes hot. So the Lakers defense got hot and their offense got hot, and that's why you saw that huge run late in the first into the second. Yeah,
no one's discounting the Heat, as well as they've done through this playoff run. But they not only have to go back to the drawing board for losing the game in the ways that you describe, but they got 3 guys who are hurt. That's a lot to deal with a game coming less than 48 hours from now.
Yeah, it's tough to deal with, especially when they believe in themselves. They have a talented team. They took down the #1 seed and the 2-time MVP in Giannis. So they understand how to win games against high-level players. But you have to look at this. The Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo pick and roll is one of the keys to their offense. It's been so important. So to have both of those players hobbled and even one of the players questionable on whether or not he's going to be able to return, that's a huge chunk of the Miami Heat offense that is no longer there. So how are they going to be able to do that? It's going to be difficult. You don't want to count out a Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra team because of how hard they play. But ultimately, if the talent isn't there, and especially in their case, if the talent isn't healthy, there's going to be some issues.
Richard Jefferson, thanks for bringing us your expertise. Stay safe down there. Enjoy the rest of the finals.
Tim Legler on SportsCenter to lend a critically trained eye to Game 1 now. And Legs, coming into the series, you had said, listen, the Lakers got to be better at 3. If there's a weakness, it could be their 3. They come out in the first half. They shoot 11 of 17 from 3. How'd they get it done?
Yeah, look, this is what you're going to have to live with if you're Eric Spoelstra. And the Lakers just had great offense to get these threes. They shot a high percentage, and the reason is because they took shots that were on balance based on the way they moved the ball, the way they cut. They just took advantage of everything Miami did defensively. You go into the post and AD, double team comes. This is such a smart play by Rondo because this cut triggers the top guy to help, and now you're going to end up with 3 Lakers and only 2 defenders on the weak side of the floor. Closeout by Iggy. Great job by Kuzma attacking the closeout, and now that forces the help off the corner, and you have a wide-open KCP waiting on that shot, feet set on balance. Another time here, take advantage of the opportunity. Rondo in the middle off the screen. He's going to trigger the backline help to come. And again, you've got 2 Lakers against 1 defender. To live with something, we will live with Rajon Rondo taking that shot. Unfortunately for the Heat, they shot such a high percentage, and the separation came in that second quarter with the Lakers' three-point shooting. And you're going to have to give up something. This is it. And if this is the Achilles heel for the Lakers and they continue to shoot like that in this series, it's going to be a very short series.
Yeah, and in the second half, though, they come out and they shoot just 4 of 21, although the game was basically decided. Like, it's because the Heat come out, and for all the scrappiness and grittiness and nastiness we hear about them in the third quarter, I didn't see that from Miami.
No, I didn't like it. And this is a team, the Lakers, look, they're going to bully you because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're more athletic. They're also going to talk to you the entire time. So this is a team that's going to try to challenge you. They're going to try to take your heart. And I thought Miami in that third quarter, they had a chance to come out of that locker room and see if they could make things interesting. And it just got really easy for the Lakers. This is a loose ball that it's a half-hearted effort to get to. Danny Green just picks it up and shoots it, knocks down a three. LeBron turns the corner. This is a mismatch against Duncan Robinson. There's got to be help there on the baseline. He shoots an uncontested layup at the rim off to AD. You know, your two centers are at the rim playing catch and then ultimately lead into a dunk. I just felt like for that brief moment right there, it's the first time I've seen the Miami Heat since the restart began that I just saw them let go of the rope a little bit. They did not have that spirit. And if you don't stand up to a team like the Lakers, who already has more talent and already has more size, they are going to do this to you. They're going to run you off the floor. So I thought that was an opportunity for Miami to see what they were made out of coming out of that locker room after that barrage of threes, and I didn't really like what I saw. And Eric Spoelstra's not going to like it, and that team's not going to like it. I think they can bounce back from this, John. I really do. But tonight, this was a mismatch. This was a heavyweight against a lightweight. And that's not necessarily what I expected going into this series. I'm one of the guys that thought Miami could win this series. But they've got to be much tougher, much more desperate defensively and pay attention to detail to a greater degree because the Lakers have so much talent. This is what they can do to you if you take your eye off the prize a little bit, and I thought Miami did that tonight.
I did think the Lakers did a nice job of trying to match that drop of intensity in the fourth quarter when they kind of walked home. Real quick, Jimmy Butler at one point's limping. Bam Adebayo's shoulder is hurting, and Goran Dragic has got a foot thing. Which one of those three guys is the one that they can least afford to have off the floor?
Well, I would probably say Bam Adebayo because they have absolutely no size or depth up front. With Bam Adebayo even off the floor in foul trouble in the first quarter, the Lakers made their run. They can't withstand minutes without him on the floor. To me, like Dragic might be the one that could be the most serious. And if he's out for an extended period of time in this series, this is also going to be a short series. They cannot go without his playmaking and his shot making. He gives them so much versatility with their offense. They're a lot less predictable if he's going to be on the floor. So I think Butler's going to be okay. He actually played through the ankle. With Bam, you know, it's a shoulder. I expect him to be out there. But Goran's got something going on with a lower body injury, and it didn't look good. He looked very frustrated, and a lot of times you could tell by body language when a player knows before the doctors even get to look at it, and I didn't really like the way Goran was reacting. He looked like he thinks it's serious, and if that's the case, and he's out for this series, that is something the Heat cannot overcome.
Game 2 is Friday. Well, with victory comes responsibility. You got to do the interview rounds. Danny Green is with us on SportsCenter. And Danny, by my watch, you've had about 12 minutes to digest this thing. Give us your assessment of Game 1.
They came out, you know, intense. They threw the first punch. They threw a haymaker. We were down, but we stuck with it. You know, our second group came in, was very resilient. It took the time, pace. We started knocking down some shots. We started settling in, and then we came back. And then from there, we started pushing the pace even more and never looked back. But it'll be nice to continue that throughout the whole 4 quarters for 48 minutes. But we know that in human nature, you're just going to slow down some. But that team is going to keep fighting and come back. In that fourth quarter, you saw they made a run. We let some of their second unit come in. Kendrick Nunn, Olenek, a lot of those guys started making an effect on the game. So next game, we got to be more intense, more focused, and not let them guys get going and get any confidence.
So if you're going to put your finger on one thing that was good for the Lakers tonight, what is it?
Definitely, I'd say for 2.5 quarters, we were pushing that pace, our transition and moving the ball. We finally got some good shots to fall. Paint the great stuff, and we executed well. We got Bron downhill. We got AD in the post. We got some good looks, so we were aggressive. If we continue to do that, I think we like our chances. And defensively, we're clicking on all cylinders. We were talking better. We were communicating up until that fourth quarter. Unfortunate for them, they had some injuries. We know those guys are going to still fight through it and come back. So we can't expect none of those guys to be out next game. We have to keep our intensity and our focus defensively and not let them get anything easy.
You've been in the NBA Finals before. Describe sort of the energy and the atmosphere playing the NBA Finals game on that floor in the bubble tonight.
A lot different from my other experiences. It's not as much fan energy, but it's still intense, still high-intensity basketball. Guys getting after it, guys competing. Just a little different without the fans there and, you know, all the crowd. We have some pretty good crowd noise here, but the real crowd noise is what we're missing. So
it's been a long time since the Lakers have won a championship. It hasn't been for you. Have you told the guys, listen, I'm going for back-to-back championships. Don't screw this up for me.
Nah. We haven't spoke about it. Mind you, there's a bunch of guys in this locker room has been there before, have won some, so I have no bragging rights at all. With, you know, Bron has like 3 or 4, JaVale's got 2, Quinn's got 2, Doe's got 1. There's a lot of guys in our locker room that's been in the finals and have won some. But we all said at the end of the day, we want to get another one and get another one for the guys who have not experienced it before, and for this organization who hasn't been here in, you know, a couple of years.
Last thing that I'm going to touch on LeBron there, because Anthony Davis led the way in scoring, yet LeBron, even when his numbers are not standout, talk about how he controls the flow of a game.
Even if he's not scoring, his effect on the game is unreal. Just how he's quarterbacking, how he's initiating, how he's pushing the pace, finding guys and drawing defense to him, drawing a lot of attention. So it's giving us open looks on the backside, him putting pressure on the rim, getting to the free throw line, and just being not satisfied with how good we're playing. Even though we were up big and we won pretty decently, comfortably, he was not happy with how we executed down in that fourth quarter. And he's holding us to a higher standard, holding us accountable, and want us to be more intense, more focused, and hopefully, you know, we keep that at edge going into next game.
Am I more impressed that you had 3 3-pointers or that you tied AD with 3 blocks tonight?
I think the 3 blocks. 3 3-pointers is what I'm supposed to do.